Welcome to Networking Unleashed Building Profitable Connections. I'm your host, Michael Forman, and today we're tackling a question a lot of people think about, but few talk about openly. What if people who connect others, the one who opens doors, bring opportunities together, and build rooms that matter, actually got paid for the value they create? Today's guest understands how communities turn into income, why connectors should stop apologizing for charging, and why real results only come when you put in the time. This episode is about ownership, credibility, and earning what your relationships produce. If you've ever wondered how to turn your network into something that lasts and pays, you're in the right place. So let's start getting into it. I'd like to introduce today Joe. You are my guest today on my podcast. Welcome. Why don't you give me a little bit about your background and where you are today?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Michael. This is great. I'm excited to be on here. Had a lot in common. We were talking before we got on, so a lot of Jersey, Rockland County stuff. So a lot of connections there. But yeah, but I'm a Jersey guy. I went to school in Ohio, came back. I started a marketing agency right out of college. I ran that for 20 years and I became a connector. I just fell in love with networking. I went to a B&I meeting when I was 25 and someone's like, "Yeah, you network." I'm like, "What is this?" And next thing you know, I loved it. And I'm like, wait, if I introduce you to that person, you could get me business and just the whole idea behind it. So the next, whatever, 15, 20 years or so, while I was running the agency, I became a real big connector. And then I sold the company and I started another company and people are still calling me, right? Joe, I need this. Joe, I need that. I was like, oh, Michael, listen, I'm happy to connect you, but you know what? How about you pay me if I connect you to another deal, right? I had $100,000 deal that I connected somebody on. I'm like, I should have gotten paid for that. That was a nice size deal. And I went back to them and said, how about I bring you more business and you pay me? And they were like, yeah, like you literally walked me in the door, president of the company, and I got $100,000 deal, I'll pay you 15% of whatever you bring me. So that's when the whole thing started. It was like maybe connectors should be getting paid. And I think we all, as connectors, you as a connector, everyone, I think we all in our back of our minds, like, oh man, I've given out millions of dollars over the years. Why I should have been getting paid. And people get frustrated. I don't even get a gift card, not even a bottle of wine. And I've done that before. And it's like you should be thanking people. And it's now that we have the upfront contract that we put together through our software, it's like you're going in saying, if I introduce you, you're gonna pay a commission. And just let's stop playing around with this. And we're just calling it Connectors Get Paid. This is the book I put out. I feel like I'm always hawking the book, but Connectors Get Paid, How to Build a Referral Network That Pays. And we trademarked it. Connectors get paid. Let's all start paying each other. And that's our mantra. If you're a good connector, get paid. And the people that aren't good, I'm happy to pay you, Michael. If you get me business, I don't like selling. I don't like opening doors. I don't like doing all this networking. But if you get me in the door somewhere, I'm happy to pay you. So both sides are happy, right? Now the connector is getting paid, and the other people that are afraid, not afraid, but are just uncomfortable with networking sales, they're getting paid as well. And that's it. It's very simple.
It is simple. It is simple. And I base my whole business on that concept. I truly believe it. I believe that networking is the lifeblood of business.
Sure.
And some people don't have the salesmanship. They know what they're doing, they know how to do it, but they hate to go out and sell. So if they find somebody like you or me or somebody, and we put the two together, why not get paid? Get a little piece of the pie. So that
It's not
works.
a yeah, and it's not a sale at that point. It's
No,
I'm
it's
introducing
not.
you, Michael, to somebody I know that's looking for your service. They know me. Oh, Joe. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm looking for your service. And like you said, they know what they're doing. Our friends are just looking, our colleagues are looking for someone that can do the service we're looking for. And all right, if you're always going to ask for a referral, people always want a referral. So we're just making that introduction. It takes like I said, that awkwardness that I'm doing the sale. It's just an introduction to someone who wants to do business with you.
It is, and it's so well put. I'm going to ask you about the book later on. Okay, let me get right into this. Why do connectors often create massive value for others, yet struggle to get paid out themselves?
Yeah, I think, look, connectors just love connecting, right? It's something we want to do and just love making that introduction, but are always been afraid to ask after because it's like I introduced you to somebody and I just heard you close that $250,000 deal. I can't go back to you after. So you got to get that upfront thing going now. And that's what we're talking about. So they're often giving out those referrals because they love making introductions. I make introductions all day long. And they're hoping, I think, that someone would pay them and do the right thing. But why would they have no contract to do? And that's why we're putting in place to say, look, you should start getting paid now, but put that upfront contract that says, I will introduce you and I'm going to get paid now. So because they haven't been getting paid and they're always giving and not getting reciprocation. I think that's the bottleneck in a lot of these networks is I give you 4 referrals. You don't give me anything back. I don't get paid back. I gave you 4 deals, Michael. You closed 2 of them. You don't have one person you can introduce me to. Now I'm not giving you any more business. Not because I'm a jerk, just because I'm like, I give you 4 deals, there's not one person. But if you paid me on 2 of those deals, now I'm going to keep that flywheel open to keep giving you business. I'm happy now. I would love if you gave me a referral back, reciprocated, but maybe you're not a connector. Maybe you don't have a good network, but I do. So I'll keep giving you business. I just want a little piece of the business. And the other person's, again, happy because you're the one that's connecting me, right? So you have all the introductions. I'm happy to pay you because I know you bring me more business. So it's a simple two-way street here.
On a small business plane, if you're just dealing, because I hold a networking group every week, and it's about 15, 20 businesses come together, but they're all a single man shop. They're just starting out. So, how would you handle speaking to somebody, let's say, of that group on what you're doing?
Yeah, so listen, they got to utilize the other people in the group, right? Because every one of those 20, there's only 20 people, right? And they're a single
Right.
man shop. They're the only person that's doing sales. You got to use the other 19 people in that group to open those doors for you. But a lot of times people just sit back and wait for them to open a door, right? But you got to ask the other person group, hey, John, listen, I noticed on LinkedIn 3 people are CFOs. I'd like to talk to CFOs because I'm an accountant. Do you know any of those CFOs well enough to make an introduction? Oh, I do. Yeah, I know this one and that one. Good. Do you mind asking them if they're looking for somebody with my services? And then yeah, go back to that person and say, "Hey, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. He does accounting. He'd like to talk to you." Maybe one of those 2 CFOs are like, "Yeah, actually, we're looking for a new accounting firm for a company," and then they make the introduction. But these are 19 other salespeople that are you're a one-man shop. You don't have a sales crew. No, you do. You have 19 other people that are a
Right.
salesperson for you. You just got to ask them who they know to get you in the door. And if they tell you they don't know somebody, tell them, you know what? Okay, Michael, go on LinkedIn, look at it. Because a lot of times we forget. I don't remember what every one of my buddies from college does, people I went to high school with. You forget. Oh, you know what? Do me a favor. Type in CFO in LinkedIn. Oh, yeah. You know what? I do know John. I forgot he's a CFO. Yeah, I can make that introduction for you. So utilize those people. They're your sales force. That's why you join a networking group to hire a sales force.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. At what point does a network stop being just relationships and become something people should be compensated for stewarding?
That's the tough part, and that's why we're out there with this mantra: connectors get paid. Like we all have to agree upon it, right? And we're trying to get it out there, and that's why I'm doing these podcasts. Hey, if you're a connector, demand your networking group to pay you. Hey, I could join another group. This other group over here, I heard they're paying their people that are making introductions, right? So I think all the networking groups, and look, I've talked to a lot of them. Like, we don't do stuff like that. We do, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. But again, these networking groups have this bottleneck because the good connectors are in a group, they're giving, not getting anything back. They go to another group, and then they go to another group. You want to keep them here. You want to keep those good connectors that are going to stay with you if they're getting paid, and then they're giving business to the other people, so they're going to keep the other people there. So I think every networking group should be doing this because you should all be paying each other. Again,
Well,
get it
you have a BNI, which it's a one person per in one industry per group, and it's, let's say, 30, 40 businesses, and they are required to give a referral or an introduction or something else, and they don't get paid for it.
right, but the requirement makes it a BS referral. That's the problem. Oh, I'm required. Okay, Michael, who do you want to talk to? CEO. Good. I got a CEO. Here's my friend Kevin. And I introduce you. Hey, Kevin, Joe told me to call you. About what? Oh, I do accounting services. My brother's our accountant. So why would he tell you to call? Because I had to put a referral in. Otherwise, like, you can't force referrals. So what we teach is, look, do you know that person well? Michael, I'd like to, do you know that person well enough to make an introduction? Oh yeah, that's my college roommate. Okay, good. Can you ask him if he liked the services I provide? Here's what I provide. Is he in the market for those services? And if he is, then you make the introduction, and you are making the intro because you're going to get paid on the intro. So you have an incentive to get that introduction done and to make sure that both are following up. I'm following up with the lead you gave me, and your roommate is following up with me and making sure I get back to you. So otherwise, everyone just throws out a referral. Oh, here you go. You want a
Oh,
referral? I could give you a referral right now if you wanted one. I could give everyone. But is it
yeah,
actual referral that's going to close? And do you
yeah,
want to
no,
be?
that's why I left BNI like 4 years ago. I went through 1 year of it because everybody said, you got to go, you got to go, you got to go. I went and I'm like, there's nothing here. It's just, they refer everybody within and they don't, I didn't get a lot of it. So
Right.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And it is high time that this is a needed, this is a needed something for what's called a super connector.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I think, and every super connectors, I can't believe you guys are doing this. I've been thinking about this for years. I can't believe you guys built something that actually does this. This is great. So.
Good, good. What must be in place inside a community before money can enter without damaging trust?
Again, we built the software, so not to sell the software, but we built the software to take care of all that up, like the upfront. You're going to sign a contract that says, I will pay anyone in this group that gives me a referral. I've agreed to pay X percentage. So you need everything in writing, just like anything in life, right? If you think you're going to get paid on something, yeah, hey, Michael, look, no, put it in writing. Send me an email. I sent the guy an email the other day. Hey, just want to put this in the email so it's in writing that this is what we've agreed upon, right? So if you don't use our software, some sort of software that is going to put that agreement in writing. So what we do is we have an upfront contract that says, I will pay a percentage. Everyone puts their percentage on their actual profile. Here's the percentage I actually pay. And they have to accept an introduction. Say, yes, Michael, you introduced me to that person. So again, they click on a link that says in writing, yes, you were the one that made that introduction. So I can't 3 months from now say, Michael, I already knew Susie. Oh, really, Joe? No, you accepted that I made the introduction to you. So you just have to have those things in place, right? You want to trust everybody, but you can't. So we have a bunch of things in place that before anything goes across, before any money's done, sign these contracts that everyone's in agreement of what's going to happen here. If your client closes a deal for 10 grand, I know I'm going to get 7% of that. So I know I'm going to get $700 into the pot. It's all in there in writing.
Good. Okay. What separates communities that generate steady income from those that stay social but never go further?
I mean, look, that steady income is going to keep people there. And I think people get to, I've seen a lot of communities I've talked to over the last couple of years that get to 60 people and then it just goes stagnant. Because again, after that first year, you get all that momentum building, and then the connectors are leaving because they're not getting business back. So they leave, the other people leave because they're not getting business from the connectors anymore, and it just goes stagnant. And they stay at 60 and they lose a couple people. They never get to that other point. I have a guy, he's been running a group for 10 years now. He's got 60 members, right? Our group has been 3 years. We have 550 members. And like, why do you have so many members? And our group charges double what they charge. I said, because everyone's getting paid. It's just a simple switch. Let's all pay each other. And now that money's flowing in. So if you get a deal, more deals are happening because people are introducing more people because they're going to get paid. And then the connectors are getting more money, so they stay in a group and keep giving one out. Without the ROI, and we've talked to a lot of chambers, like we're talking to chambers right now. Chambers love what we're doing. They're like, we need non-dues revenue. We can't just rely on the dues to come in. Because if that's all it is, our members are going to leave. But now they want other revenue sources. Oh, this is great. Now we could pay our members when they get deals done, and the chamber could get a cut of every deal that goes through. This is great. This is a great revenue source. And the software doesn't cost $129 a month. It's not like we're charging because we're invested in people being successful. So the deals come in, we all make money, including us. And that's how we set up the model, right? Deals come in, we make money, the community makes money, the member makes money, everybody's happy.
Good, good. Okay. Many people underestimate the work involved. What does it truly take behind the scenes to build a network worth paying for?
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on for a few years now, I think, or 5 years or so now. Look, it takes a lot when you're starting a network. You're the one bringing people in. You got to convince them why you should be part of your network, right? And I would be on LinkedIn, I would be on Lunch Club, I would go to meetings, and you got to put like any business, you got to put the time in to grow it and convince somebody why your network is better than the other. And for me, it was that whole mantra of getting paid. Hey, you want to be in a network that pays for your referrals? Come over here. And that was my simple message on LinkedIn. Hi, Michael. We have a networking group that pays you for your referrals. Was that of interest to you? Yes or no? And you send 50 of those messages out every day on LinkedIn or whatever it is. You'll get three, four people every day responding yes, and you get those people. So it takes it. But the thing we did to build it, again, the incentive. Every group, there's not an incentive. The other incentive we put into place is okay, Michael, you join up. It's $100 a month to join. If you bring another member in, we'll give you $100 for bringing that member in. So now every time you bring a member in, you're getting paid. So if you're paying $100 a month to be a member of this group and you bring in a new member, you didn't pay dues that month. Okay, so now you're incentivized. Let me see who else I can bring to the network. And then that exponential growth, that network effects just starts to happen, right? We have 3,300 prospects right now for our 500 person group. 3,300 prospects. We have 6 times the amount of prospects trying to join our group because people are like, I want that. And the members are bringing those prospects in because they want the incentive to get the money. And then they're going to get more people on that deals are going to flow in and get more money. So it's just, again, the thing that was missing and I saw with BNI and LinkedIn and anything, any of the other networking things is where's the incentive for me? Where's the incentive for everybody? Oh, and what's the greatest incentive? Money, right? It's like,
Absolutely.
so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
No, I couldn't agree more than 100%. It's exactly what is needed. I've been networking my whole life. I made it into a business 3 years ago. And I have networking groups. I go to different events. I think I'm holding my own event, and I understand exactly where you're coming from. And this has been needed for quite some time. People love the idea of passive income from a network. What parts can eventually run quietly, and what parts require attention?
Yeah, so look, once it's set up in the system and people get to know and start to build relationships, that just starts to happen. So you don't have to push it anymore. You build these relationship with group. Now you and I are referral partners. So I'm just quietly giving you referrals because you've done a great job. I've introduced you to a couple clients. You're doing an awesome job for me, and I keep making money off of you. I'm just now quietly, you and I are just sending referrals. But I keep sending it to you and I keep putting it into the system, and the community owner keeps getting paid every time. So they're happy the deal's going on. And then that passive income just kicks in, right? We did in the last 2 weeks, our community, for the groups out there that run networking groups, chambers, whatever, our community made $5,000 in the last 2 weeks in passive income. Just deals that I don't even know about. That's where it starts to get interesting. I was on a call today with a group that has 2,000 members, a Chamber of Commerce out west. They have 2,000 members. We just generated 5 grand from 500 members. That's exponentially grow that. That's $20,000. That's in 2 weeks. So that's $40,000 a month. That's $500,000 that a chamber or other can make in passive income. So it just once it starts going, and again, our group, I always use our group. We have 4,300 deals going on right now. 4,300 deals in a 500-person group, right? Because the incentives there. These people want to
Incentives there.
introduce young people. It's so simple and so easy and so effective. And that's why I try and tell people, look, why are we at 550 members after 3 years and you're at 60 members after 10 years? Not much different. Networking is not much different across things. Pull people together, let them talk to each other through referrals, but we're paying people. It's the numbers don't lie in anything, right?
Yep. Yep. That's the difference. That's the difference. Okay. How should connectors think about pricing their access, introductions, or community without feeling awkward or apologetic?
So listen, when you're starting a community and you have no proven track record, you're gonna have to go low, right? When I started our community, it was $500 for the year, right? Which there's communities out there charging $6,000 for the year, right? We were 500, right? And then we got to 100 people. Okay, now we have a little bigger community. We're gonna start charging $100 a month. Nobody batted an eye, right? And now we haven't even raised it in a while because we're still doing that. So you want to price it. Where's the value? Am I going to pay $100 a month for 20 people in a group? No. You got 100 people in a group, maybe I'll pay you $100 a month. Now you got 500, 1,000 people in a group, maybe you're going to pay 250 a month. So base it on the value you're providing, right? People want to pay for value, right? When I first started, I had a guy come to the New York meeting. There's 8 people there. He's call me when you're bigger, which I get it, right? It's okay. You don't want to be here when we're starting. And honestly, a year later, he tried to join. I'm like, you know what? You didn't want to take the chance when we started. You're not in now. I told him no. But listen, I get it. There was no value at the beginning. I don't want to come here when there's 8 people here. So I think you got to price it according to how many people you have, how much value you're bringing, right? Now we've been around for a while. We could probably raise our prices if we wanted to, because you can see all the value, see all the deals we're going. And as far as the value you're putting on you to pay for these referrals, you have to decide what your margin is that you could afford to pay the other member of the group. Hey, Michael, you're a member of the group. I'll give you 10% of whatever comes in. I'm going to pay 10% on that, or I'm going to pay 7%, or I'm going to pay 12%. It's up to the members what they want to pay. They put it in the system, tell you what to pay, and that's what the system will do. But the problem we see a lot is someone will be like, I'm only going to pay for the first deal. And people aren't incentivized by that. If it's the initiation fee is $500 and you're paying 10%, that's $50. You're doing an ongoing deal with this company because you're the one that made a referral, and all of a sudden you're out with your friend. Oh yeah, we're doing $10,000 a month with Michael. He's been doing a great job. 10 grand a month. That guy only paid me on the first 500. So don't undervalue like your incentive for the other people to give you money. Because I'm not going to go back to you if I find that out. Right? I made $50 off that deal, and I know you're making 10 grand a month. So you got to make sure there's a value to the other member to bring you more business. So incentivize them. Give them a good commission.
Okay. All right. What are the fastest ways people damage a community when they rush to make money from it?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'll give you the story of what happened with me. When I started, I had a certain vision of what I wanted. And I wanted a certain type of person in the group, right? I wanted someone that more higher end business. We wanted B2B. We wanted people that really vetted out, right? We didn't want to let, like a lot of groups, the problem is, and not to say any groups, but as long as you have $100 in a pulse, you're in, right? Because they want to make money. So I did the same thing, right? I had a certain thing I wanted to do. But all of a sudden it was growing. Somebody wanted to open up a chapter. I said, oh, Michael, you want to open up a chapter in Atlanta? Go ahead. Yeah, that sounds cool. And someone else wanted to open one. All of a sudden I had 4 chapters of this group that I was starting in the first 6 months to a year. And it was great. We're going to make a ton of money. And now we'll get more members in. We were just letting everybody in. We started to just loosen up the range because, again, someone comes to a meeting, it's 8 people. That looks bad. I want 20 people in those seats. So I'll let, Susie in, even though she's not the best member, right? But then you devalue your group because you have people in there that aren't good networkers, don't do a good job, make you look bad in front of the client, right? So I literally woke up one morning and I had like about 60 members in my group because I wanted to grow this quickly. And I woke up one morning, I cut 30 people out. I sent them a note that day, said, sorry, Michael, we're going a different direction. And you're not part of that direction. We're just going a different thing. And from there, we always stuck to our guns about who gets in the group because if you're just trying to grow a group fast and get as many people in there, you're gonna have bad people in there, and then the good people are gonna leave. So we don't put the value on the $100 a month. We don't care about your $100. That's what we charge to be in our group. I don't want you in just to get $100, right? If you're not a good member of our group, we have a bad feeling about you. Somebody raised their hand and says, I've done business at Michael before. I don't like, you're not in. Where other groups will be like, oh, you got $100, you're in. Yeah. So that's the bad part. You don't want to just go after as many people as you can. It's just not
Okay.
going to be long run.
No, and I understand that 100%. I've I don't charge for my being in my group, but I know exactly what you're saying because I've had to cut people out. Now, it's a free group. So for me to cut somebody out, what are you doing? This is free. I don't have to come to you. I
Yeah,
know, but I would prefer if you didn't come to the meetings at all. So without putting a price on it, I've had to do the very same thing, only because I wanted to keep the integrity of the group.
exactly. And that's what you have to do.
Okay, how does patience shape who succeeds in turning relationships into income versus those who burn out or fade away?
Look, patience is the biggest thing in sales. Like you can't expect somebody to buy when you want them to, right? I want to get my quota done this month, but the person's not ready to buy, right? It's like I tell everyone, if you're going to be a salesman, get used to fishing, right? Go out and fish. Go out, get on a lake for the day and throw your pole in there. It's going to take you 6 hours to land a good bass, right? But as long as you're patient, a fish is going to hit at some point. It's not going to hit in the
Right.
first hour that you wanted to, the second hour, but that last fish you get, and I got it. I was up in Canada 3 years ago. We go fishing every year. And the last day, after 3 days of fishing, I hadn't caught anything. Me and my buddy are sitting on a dock sharing some tequila, and we just threw our pole in, and I hit a bass like you wouldn't believe. And it was the last hour of any chance to go fishing. I hit that bass. It's the same with sales, right? You got to be patient. If you're not going to be patient, you're going to get frustrated, burn out. Oh, this isn't working. Let me try something else. You can't go get your plan in place, have your MVP, what's your value proposition, right? That you want to do, and go after the right people. Not all of them are going to buy and you can't force them to buy. Hey, Michael, if you buy this month, like we'll give you a discount. That all they're doing is trying to hit their quota. They don't really care if you come in as a client. They're just trying to get somebody in because they know they want to get X amount of clients this month. It's frustrating. It's the most frustrating thing possible in sales is like, why I had a woman this morning said, let's wait till the spring. We have other things going on. I'm like, oh, all right, listen, I got to build a pipeline. So right now, I'd love to close her, but in the spring, April comes around, May. Oh, I have 10 people that said to wait to the spring. Okay, I was patient. I got five of those clients. Okay, but I had to be patient for them. Again, just it'll come. You just keep on to figure out a path, figure out your go-to market strategy, and just stay with it. Right? I do the same thing all the time. Reach out to people all the time, every day. Do your pipeline, build your pipeline. It's tedious, but you have to be patient with it.
It's so true. And consistency is always the way you go. If you stay consistent in your marketing and everything else. Consistency is and being authentic, of course, but that consistency will always net you more results.
Exactly.
I found.
Yeah,
Uh,
totally.
okay, so let's bring this full circle. If someone wants to move from helpful connector to paid community builder, what mindset shift must happen first?
Yeah, if you just want to be a helpful connector, that's great and all. But if you want to really build a community, you got to go in with the fact that how are you going to build your community? How are you going to bring people in? And how are you going to monetize that community? Right? What is the community you're going to bring? What type of people you want to bring in? And then you got to go from that mindset of just being a helpful connector. I'll help you here and there. You got to drive business to those people. Then, especially those first 10 to 20 people you bring in and say, hey, Michael, come to be part of my network. You better be ready not to be just a helpful connector, be like, I'm going to drive a lot of business to you. Because if I do that, you're going to tell your friends to join the group, right? And you have to go in thinking this is a full-time job for the most part. Not maybe have another gig going on, but you got to put the time in to get this thing going. So like when I started the group, yeah, it took a lot of time to get that going. And it was every week of having meetings, doing more. And eventually you get to the part where you could start growing. But you got to get the first couple people in there and make sure they're getting value out of the group. Because if you start getting people to leave in the first 2, 3 months, it's not going to be good. So yeah, if you're going to start your own network, go in with a plan in place, how to do it, and make sure you're going to be out there knocking on doors, getting people in, and getting results for them pretty quickly. So those first people that buy into what you're doing are going to be the ones that make or break you.
Absolutely. I can't agree with you more. With my networking group that I started only about 3 months ago, that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm staying consistent. And it's just, I only have 15 or 20 members now. It grows every week, but I put a whole lot of time into it.
Yeah.
Okay, that conversation cuts straight to the truth. Building a network people trust doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't run itself. It takes consistency, care, and showing up long before money enters the picture. If this episode challenged you, how you think about relationships, community, or getting paid, the value you bring, share it with somebody who's been doing it quietly behind the scenes. Thanks for listening to Network Unleashed, Building Profitable Connections. I'm Michael Forman. Keep building real relationships, keep showing up, keep creating something worth paying for. Until next time. But before we stop this podcast, Joe, I want to ask you, listen, you have a book that you published, you have this great software. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? So if they want your services, how they can get you?
So if they want to read the book, just go to Amazon, put in Connectors Get Paid. Kindle's 99 cents. It's a great, if you want to start a network, it's a great book to do it. Otherwise, go to Joe at Nolodex, Nolodex.com. That's my email. Shoot me a note and say, I want to learn more about it, and we'll set up a time for a discovery call.
That's great. Joe, I tell you, it was a great podcast. I'm so thankful that you came on. And I love hearing about New Jersey because I'm from New York. So
Right.
we went to we hung out in the same places.
Exactly.
All right,
Yeah.
Joe, take care.
Thank you.
Well, hold on, folks. Don't go anywhere. Let's hear from our sponsors. David Neal, co founder, Revved Up Kids. Revved Up Kids is on a mission to protect children and teens from sexual abuse, exploitation, and trafficking. They provide prevention training programs for children, teens, and adults. To learn more, go to revvedupkids.org. Henry Kaplan, Century 21. When it comes to making the biggest financial decision of your life, leave it in the hands of a proven professional, Henry Kaplan. Henry is a global real estate agent with Century 21, celebrating his 41st year in business. No matter where you're moving, Henry has the right connections for you. You can contact Henry at 561 427 4888. A wrap, folks. A huge thank you to our guest for sharing such incredible insights today. And of course, a big shout out to you, our amazing listeners, for tuning in and spending your time with us. If you're interested in my digital courses, being coached, or having me come and talk to your company, just go to Michael and fill out the request form. Remember, networking isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. So take what you've learned today, get out there, and make some meaningful connections. If you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who could use a little networking inspiration. Let's keep the conversation going. You can find me on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, or my website, forman.com/podcasts.